that was fun. Welcome back to the channel. Sun's shining and I've been having a little heart attack with some aerosol cans. Obviously it's taken from there. And I would know my D's too big, but I get that all the time anyway.
Okay.
I've got some runs, but they're sort of intentional to disguise an unintentional run. See, I've been having some fun playing with some aerosols. Couldn't resist. By the way, if you're wondering what all these dots are of the Escort, it's all for the 3D scanning. So they're like little reflective dots, and when the 3D scanner fires the laser over the car to work out where everything is, those dots reflect back at it and help it locate the shapes of the panels. So I'll show you what we're doing here. The original MR2 kit needed you to cut the door off at the top there so that it fit the same profile as the Ford door and therefore met the Clam. But we've decided to cut excuse me, the front of the Clam off. We've already took a lip off and we're going to take some more off, and we've took some more off here, so that we can move the whole Clam forwards to put the wheel in the middle of the wheel arch, because the wheel arch sits back on the yeah, it's further back than the wheel does, because the dimensions of the RS200 rear has been kept. So if we take the front of the Clam off, we can move the whole Clam forward, and we'll have to take a section out of the skirt as well and move it all forward so that it then lines up. But we're also looking at this section here. If we're cutting the front of the Clam off, and the original MR2 kit required us to cut the back of the door off, then if we're cutting the Clam off and changing the shape of the Clam, then we can also change the shape of the door at this point to make a nicer line, because the line that was actually left was not straight, where that's what I'm saying. Yeah, doesn't it? So instead of it coming in like this and then up, which is kind of how it was because of the way this stopped, because of the way that stopped, and obviously the way, yeah. So like, but it doesn't have to do that anymore. So it's going to go in nicer. Now we're playing with this, we may as well change that shape. This is the thing, you see, like you change one thing and another thing comes up that you couldn't have realised. And yeah, you can kind of see how the door was cut here to meet it's like almost like a zigzag, but it has to be like that to,
yeah, it was where this stopped.
Yeah,
and that had the bit where the
then that comes up, yeah.
To come up.
But like I say, with changing things, it's not necessary really if we're changing this part of the kit, which we have. So Jonathan's doing CAD whilst doing CAD. What do you call this, Jonathan?
Cardboard aided design.
So we're working out brackets and so you on about not going across here then?
No, I'll go across, but use that as your
Right, yeah.
as your fixing point. Obviously,
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
too high, but
So using this to support along here, and that then holds the clam in place at the back in the correct position, the correct height, and then we'll use these little rubber bump stops that are out of the MR2 out of there to adjust it. We're having to make more alterations to the roof because we've moved it forward, so now the vent's dipping into that and hitting that, so we're more changes to the roof. So before we go much further, we've got the doors to line up and everything soon, so we want to make sure that the back end's sitting properly. So now he's been using the laser to do laser CAD. So we now have laser cut cardboard aided design. It's the future.
it is.
I use the term "it's a prototype" quite a lot. So yeah, just making some tweaks. These are for the bracket that we've put underneath, which is the hinges. We've took the old brackets out, so they're not in there now, and we've made those brackets there, so they sit a lot neater. But because we've moved it forward, now this is getting in the way of this, so we're having to change the shape of this again. It would have worked, but with moving it forward so far, it does look better on the back wheel. It's hard to tell until the side skirt comes off, but it's definitely went in the right direction. And underneath here we've made some mounts for just in the bottom corner underneath the light there. You can just see them there actually. We've made some mounts with a rubber bump stop that's sitting there at the minute, and that's just so we can position the kit properly, the whole back end. So it's sitting right now. Here it's a touch high. Obviously we've got no front on these now, so we're going to create another return in the place that we need it to be. Again, we've got this sitting high a little bit here at the back, not at the front, but then it's level there, and at the bottom the easiest bit to adjust there, I think, is this body line here slightly, but we'll have to make sure it's right there as well. But yeah, loving these shapes. This side's sitting like nice and relaxed. It needs to come out a little bit, but yeah, the other side's in quite a lot of tension. But loving the shapes. This needs improved. That needs to flow nicely into there. It's a little bit angular at the minute, but it's just to get it working, and then we'll get it looking nice. So yeah, a whole day of really making these bump stops and trying to align the back end. We'll get there. If this is the end of an episode, thanks for watching. Press the buttons, like and subscribe and that. Thanks for the support, and yeah, we'll see you next time.